Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning. And I've got a setup out here today that I'm really excited to see how well it does. Cause just based on the last test we did with this choke anyway, this combination should give us some absolutely devastating results. So for the setup I've got out here today, I brought out the Remington 1187 here. But as for a choke here, I went with this guy. This is an older Trulock 665 constriction turkey choke. From what we understand, it's roughly about 25 years old, from around the year 2000 or so. And last time we tested it, I'll leave the card above here if you want to go check that out, but it was absolutely devastating with a longbeard shell, that's for sure. But here's that choke out of the package. As you can see, just says Rem 665. No special porting, no special straight rifling or anything, just a straight up, little bit extended 665 constriction turkey choke. And in our initial test, it really did well. So I'm absolutely excited to see its performance today. And as for the shell we've got, I brought out some of these. These are the Herter's TSS shells. They are a 12 gauge, 2 3/4 inch, 1.5 ounce of number 9s, going about 1200 feet per second. And for a budget off the store shelf 2 3/4 inch turkey shell, these are probably about the best you can get unless you go to some specific company online or custom make ammunition or anything like that. If you want off the shelf performance, these are the way to go. So at least on paper and in theory, this combination should give us a really hot looking pattern. But as for our test, everything is the same as usual. I have the turkey target set up at 40 yards. I also have the chronograph, so we'll see our speed and how close it is to their box claim. So let's get you guys set up with a view of this target, and I'll head up and take the shot. We'll look at that chrono number, and then we'll go down and see how they actually performed. I've got some really high hopes for this combination, and I hope we see some devastating results. But let's go over here and shoot it and see how well it does. Okay, so that shell gave us 1309 through our chronograph. The box claims 1200, so that's 109 above their claim. But that's not unusual for these shells. They seem to like to run high 1200s or right around the 1300 mark. So definitely nothing unusual. But how did it actually perform downrange? Let's go take a look and see. All right, now we're down here at our 40-yard paper, and this is what we got. And I gotta say, I am really disappointed in Birchwood KC yet again. These new targets just absolutely suck, because you can barely see half of this shot that's on there. I mean, I'll get a close-up here so maybe you guys can see a little bit better, but I guess I need to start bringing a paint marker out here to be able to highlight this better. But that turkey paper is absolutely covered, and clearly we do absolutely have a dead bird, even though our shot might have been just a touch off to the right, maybe, but still, that is absolutely devastating. Now, we don't necessarily see a super hot baseball like core right there, but what we do see is a beautifully even spread all throughout there, which a 665 constriction with number 9 TSS, that's probably about what I would expect to see. Really, there might be a small gap or void right there, but that's all the way up at the top right corner of our paper there, which is not really of too much concern for me. And even on top of that, we really don't see a ton of flyers. These shells typically have a few, but I mean, I guess you might call 1 or 2 of those down there a little bit close to flyers, and maybe that 1 or 2 all the way over on the left there. But still, that is a beautifully even pattern. I just really wish this Birchwood KC would have actually showed up a whole lot better, because I mean, it is just absolutely peppered beyond belief. So that is nothing short of a beautiful looking pattern. If you like really even turkey patterns that give you a little bit of leeway out to 40 yards, that pretty much is the ticket right there. So 665 with these Herter's TSS shells in that old Trulock that's 25 years old. There really ain't no complaints at all from me about that one. It would absolutely devastate a turkey out to 40 yards and more than that as well, no doubt about it. And I believe that's now 2 for 2 out of this old Trulock as far as performance goes. So that thing is looking like a really good choke setup, that's for sure. And here's the wad out of that shell, and as you can see, pretty typical looking Herter's wad. They're very similar in shape to the Longbeard XR wads, but they are shorter and just a tiny bit thicker, and they do have that little styrofoam buffer piece down in the bottom there. But as you can see, no shot stuck down in there, so I'd say it does its job. It opened up almost perfectly evenly here. This one pedal might be a touch more open, but overall, absolutely nothing at all I'd be concerned about. Looks absolutely perfectly normal. So everything looks good on this one. All right, y'all. Well, what did you think about that performance there? I'd say it's absolutely devastation. We don't necessarily see a straight up baseball size core, but we do see probably about a 16 to 18 inch, pretty much perfectly round circular pattern with next to no voids or anything in it. I mean, it just looks beautiful as far as consistency goes. But the Birchwood Casey target, on the other hand, that was nothing short of a disappointment, but unfortunately, it seems like a pretty common problem a lot of people are having right about now. But either way, absolutely a good turkey pattern. There's no doubt about it. I would not be scared to use that out in the turkey woods whatsoever. Now, yes, if you were hunting close quarters, 20 yards, 25 yards, you would have to be on them pretty good because that would still be a pretty tight pattern. But that's kind of nature of the game with a lot of these TSS shells, or at least the good ones anyway. But as always, leave your thoughts about it in the comments. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you a little bit surprised for a 25-year-old Trulock choke like that? And if you have one of those old Trulocks or have tried them, how have they done for you? Let me know all that down below. And maybe what other shells might you want to see through that old 665 Trulock. If there's a combo you want to see, then by all means, let me know about that as well. And we'll see what we can do about bringing it out here for you. But at the end of the day, I have absolutely zero complaints about that pattern whatsoever. It would absolutely crush a bird no matter what situation you were in. So definitely thumbs up for me on that one. But with that being said, I've got a bunch more testing to film for y'all, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send things if you'd like. All that information will be in the description if you're interested, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.